Hello everyone. So we are in this session today. So in the last session we talked about the oogenesis. The oogenesis, it is the process of formation of eggs from the ovaries. On the board I have written both the processes. One side there is spermatogenesis, one more side is oogenesis is there. So we'll see the difference between these two today. So first of all, I would like to proceed with the spermatogenesis as we learned in the last sessions. The first one is, or the spermatogenesis is, let me tell you the introduction of this. The spermatogenesis is nothing but the process of formation of sperms from the testes, as we know from the previous sessions. The spermatogenesis, from where it is where the process is occurring. The process is occurring in the seminiferous tubules. The germinal epithelium, one of the germinal epithelium, that is germ cell, it first differentiate by means of mitotic or mitotic division. The cells, what will happen? It will multiply, and then that multiplied cell, that is spermatogonia, it undergoes first meiotic division. Later on, let me tell you the chromosome number here. The chromosome number will be of 46 till here, till it undergoes the first, till it takes the first meiotic division. The chromosome number will be diploid condition. So the spermatogonia, when it takes the first meiotic division, this is the spermatogonia. When it undergoes, when it starts, this is the, what we have to write here, this is the growth phase we have to mention here, where the contents of the spermatogonia increases. That growth phase we have to mention that in this stage. So after the growth phase, the spermatogonia, it becomes primary spermatocyte. The primary spermatocyte undergoes first meiotic division, or it takes first meiotic division, and then after the first meiotic division, or nothing but reductional division, it will reduce its number. It comes to half of its number. So these two cells, what we got from the primary spermatocyte, this spermatocyte and I have undergone the first meiotic division. This is the secondary spermatocyte. Again this secondary spermatocyte take the second meiotic division. You can write here, this is the first meiotic division. So here you can write the second meiotic division. So at last, the resultant product of if this spermatocyte, if it completes the meiotic division, it gave rise to 4 haploid spermatids. So these are the spermatids, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 are functional units. So functional units, it means it's not like oogonia, it's not like polar body, non-functional. It won't release such type of cells. All the cells will be functional, and those spermatids undergo spermiogenesis, and it converts to motile spermatozoa or sperms. So we are having at last 4 functional male gametes, that is sperms. So this was the process of spermatogenesis, but it won't happen like that in the oogenesis. If we come to the female reproductive tract or female reproductive system, the process of formation of gametes are a little bit far differ from the male gametes. How it become far differ, how it from which stages it get differ, we'll see in here. Starting from this cell, so we are going to call this as primary follicle. So right from the fetal life, the primary follicle, it will increases its number by means of mitotic division. How many mitotic division takes place, how many primary follicles will develop in the fetal life, that I mentioned in the yesterday session. So check it out in the last video, you'll come to know how many follicles were there in the fetal life. When the fetal child, when that female takes birth, the primary follicles, it will reduces its number. How? By means of, what is that? By means of shrinkage. Okay, So when in this primary follicles shrinkages occurs, the number of primary follicles reduces, and then this is considered, this is the primary follicle. This primary follicle, it has gained it undergoes the growth phase. Okay, so that is known as primary oocyte. Till here we can consider the chromosome number or the ploidy of these cells will be diploid, because it hasn't undergone the diploid division, sorry, meiotic division. When at the puberty, we have to mention here, I didn't mention the puberty here. Right from the puberty, the germinal epithelium differentiates, or it undergoes mitotic division only at the time of puberty. But here the primary follicles, it will multiply in the fetal life itself. When it attains the puberty, when it crosses the 12 or 13 or 12 to 15 ages, one of the primary follicles, we have number of follicles in the ovary, one of the primary follicle come out from that mass of the cell. It will grow. How? It by covering some granulosa membrane, it will just develop like this. The cells will be surrounded by itself. So those surrounded cells, it forms a coverage like that. It will cover by the granulosa cells. So we will talk about that little bit later. After this, I will explain you how the primary follicles grows or develops, and how it attains the mature Graafian follicle or the Graafian follicle. From the Graafian follicle, how the oocyte ruptures. We will see that by drawing the diagram. First we will understand this. The primary oocyte undergoes the first meiotic division. So it has taken place the first meiotic division. The division will not be equal in number. So one will be the polar body and one will be the complete secondary oocyte we got here. So the polar body, the division, the karyokinesis will be equal. Karyokinesis means the nucleus will equally divide, but the cytokinesis won't divide in a equal manner. One will be remain very small in size, one will attain, or one will be a very big size. What is that? Secondary oocyte. So this secondary oocyte, this is the structure from the Graafian follicle. So this will be in the Graafian follicle. Mature Graafian follicle means this is the cell, or this is the unit what it is having, what the Graafian follicle is having. So the secondary oocyte, it will pushed on, or sorry, not pushed on, it will travel to the fallopian tube. So this is the unit, or this is the cell, this is the condition, what this is the condition entering into the fallopian tube for the reproduction, or for the fertilization. How come? We have not mentioned the second meiotic division, only it has completed the first meiotic division, only it has 23 chromosome number. It has to undergo the second meiotic division, where it will complete the second meiotic division after the entering of the sperm. When the sperm enter inside the female reproductive tract, when it receives the sperm, then only it will complete the secondary meiotic division. So it means this stage, this secondary meiotic division taking place in the fallopian tube after fertilization. It can ask me, so we have not mentioned this like second polar body, third polar body, fourth polar body. No, we are not mentioning this as polar bodies. Maybe or may not be this polar body, it will divide or may not be divide. Nothing to worry about this, because it is not a functional unit. Only we need this one secondary oocyte. It will divide further. It will take the second meiotic division. It give rise to one more polar body. And then where these meiotic division is occurring, these are occurring after the sperm enters inside the secondary oocyte. By taking, I'll tell you in the next fertilization process, I'll tell you in detail about that. So second polar body, and here we have the ovum. First it converts to egg, later it will mix with the male pronucleus, and then from there zygote, and then cleavages, and then division occurs. Blastula, morula, gastrula, these are all the stages what we are going to learn in the next sessions. So these are all about the oogenesis. You have to understand right from the fetal life till the puberty. It will last only up to 45 to 50 age. Only that until that age the oogenesis occurs. After that, menopause period means the oogenesis will not be occurring inside the female body. Why? Because primary follicles will not be there for the oogenesis. That's why the oogenesis will not form. Okay, so that's all about the spermatogenesis and then oogenesis. If you see the difference between these two, so the result I'll come from this way. The division, all the division, the mitotic or meiotic, these are all the division takes place in the germine or seminiferous tubules itself, in the testis itself, you can say. So this is a complete process what we can see at the time of puberty, not from the fetal life. It's not like that. So from the puberty it will start, or it will take the initial period, and at the end of the meiotic division we got, here we have to mention the functional units. At the end of the meiotic division we got 4 cells. So those cells are known as spermatids. Again, the spermatids, it transforms itself and converts into spermatozoa, the motile units. But here what we are seeing here, right from the before the birth itself, the fetal, it is having the primary follicles. It will germinate like that, number of 6,07 millions of primary follicles germinates in the ovaries itself at the time of embryonic development. After the birth it has reduced its number, and then only one at the time of ovulation, at the time of oogenesis, only one primary follicle develops further, and then it takes only one meiotic division in the ovaries, and then when it takes first meiotic division, it travels to the fallopian tube, and then after entering the sperm inside the oocyte, later it completes its meiotic division. So at the last only one egg we are having in the oogenesis, but not like the spermatogenesis. Per coitus, if a male body, if during intercourse, if he releases the sperms or semen inside that female reproductive tract, till for like 4 ml to 50 ml of semen he can release, or a man can release. In that 300 to 400 millions of sperms will be present inside that semen, but only here in the oogenesis only one egg releases from the ovary, either from one ovary or from the one more ovary. Okay, so we'll see the as I told you, we'll see the development of primary follicles now. How the Graafian follicle will be, what will be the structures, what will be the membranes of what Graafian follicle. We'll see this. I'll draw here a mature Graafian follicle. Maybe or may not be, they'll ask in the examination, but only for the study purpose I am explaining this. if you come to know what is the Graafian follicle and what are the development taking place inside the ovaries, you'll come to know, you'll have an idea to understand better. So first I'll draw the ovary here. In the female reproductive tract, a pair of ovaries will be present to that infundibulum, and then ampulla, and then isthmus, and then uterus, pear-shaped uterus with all those things we studied in the last sessions, right? That is the female reproductive tract or female reproductive system. So only one ovary I am taking here. Okay, for what purpose? Only to explain the Graafian follicle. A mature Graafian follicle. Primarily, initially, it was primary follicles. Primary follicles, like it will be from consider. So these are all the primary follicles. One primary follicle releases or come out from the mass of the cell, and it will be surrounded by the membrana granulosa, some type of cells which nourishes this primary oocyte. So these are all the cells covers to the primary oocyte. So we can have a look on these structures, how the development taking place inside this. So this is the primary oocyte. Now it has developed and it is surrounded by membrana granulosa. This is also primary oocyte. Later on, how a female attains a puberty, this follicles, it matures, it grows. Why it need to grow, on what basis, how it will grow? So there also an answer is there from in your concept, in your syllabus, that is, I'll explain now itself about this. The hypothalamus region, so this is one gland, it releases gonadotropic releasing hormone, GnRH, gonadotropic releasing hormone. So this hormone stimulates the pituitary gland, anterior part of the pituitary gland, APG in sense, anterior part of pituitary gland. When it's stimulated by this hypothalamus released hormone, it releases two more hormones, that is FSH and LH. These are the hormones what we are talking about. How come these for primary follicles attains maturity? For the answer is when the female attains maturity, or when a female girl or a girl when she comes to the age of 12 or 13, the hormones production will be more in number. So because of that, the pituitary gland, it gets stimulated by this hormone, it releases two more gonadotropins, it is. So these gonadotropins are FSH and LH. The FSH is follicle stimulating hormone and LH is luteinizing hormone. The follicle stimulating hormone, the name itself saying follicle stimulating hormone, it triggers the development, it triggers to the follicles, primary follicles for the development. And then what will happen here? The follicles matures. Only at this stage we are having only the granulosa membrane or membrane granulosa, and when it matures, when it comes to the Graafian follicle stage, the structure will be like this. Okay, it has outer theca externa, external theca, and then theca interna or internal theca, and then here we are having one more layer of cells. Those cells are known as granulosa cells or membrane or membrana granulosa. And then we are having a cavity here over here in the Graafian follicle. So this cavity is known as antrum. So the antrum is the cavity is the it's a specialized structure or specialized event take place in the follicle. When the cavity, it is filled with a fluid. When the cavity is formed in the Graafian follicle, then it is confirmed the Graafian follicle. So the follicle is mature enough, it will releases the egg now. What we are having here? We are having the oocyte. What type oocyte? If a complete mature follicle is present, means it is having secondary oocyte. So under the influence of, or by means of stimulation, the LH, by means of what stimulation? By means of luteinizing hormone stimulation, the Graafian follicle get ruptured. How it get ruptured? Like this. It will just rupture like this. All the cells will get rupture, will split, and oocyte will come out from the follicle to, from where to where it is going. If you consider this is the ovary, here Graafian follicle is there, it is the time to rupture the secondary oocyte. It will leave the space here, it will get ruptured. The oocyte is going, it is taking a path, or it is entering inside the this is the funnel of, what is this? Funnel of fallopian tubule covered by, or at the junction it is having finger like projection known as fimbriae. So the fimbriae, what actually it is doing, if you think this is the fallopian tube funnel, it will suck like that. It will just suck the content, what it is releasing. The Graafian follicle is about to release the secondary oocyte, means it will suck the secondary oocyte. Now the secondary oocyte, it will moves from one side to another side. It is a truly non-motile structure. It won't travel by means of, like, it won't travel. This is the non-motile. How it goes from one side to other side? The fallopian tube is, it possesses cilia. This tube is guarded by, or it possesses the cilia. That cilia moves the secondary oocyte from one side to other side. Alright. So we didn't saw the actual structure of secondary oocyte now. Okay, so I'll draw here the structure of secondary oocyte, or the structure of what it is coming from the Graafian follicle now. So this is the plasma membrane of that unit, and ooplasm or cytoplasm of the egg. I'll tell you. Let me complete this diagram of egg. So that is the structure of secondary oocyte. The unit, from where it is coming, from the Graafian follicle it is coming. Okay, so here we are having a complete structure. So this is what entering inside the fallopian tube. It is covered by many membranes. As you can see, it is not only an egg or only secondary oocyte. It is surrounded by so many cells. We'll mention one by one. So like this I have drawn here. No, so this is the corona radiata. Don't laugh at this structure or the part because the corona it itself means a crown, like having a crown on the body, on the surface of the body. So next is the next to the what is this? Next to the corona radiata, a place is present, that is zona pellucida. Zona pellucida, and then a membrane is present. That membrane is known as plasma membrane, and then a dot like structure I have drawn here. No, this is nothing but ooplasm, and then this is the egg nucleus. So this structure, the ovum, I'll start calling this as ovum because I want to describe you. So this structure, what we are having on the board, the ovum, it is surrounded by number of cells. These are all the cells. They manufactured like that, a crown like manner they have manufactured. That's why they named that as corona radiata. These are all the cells covers this ooplasm and egg nucleus. Next to the corona radiata, there is a space. That space is known as zona pellucida. Okay, so all these functions and all these layers will once again we are going to learn in the next session during fertilization. And then one more structure we are having on the board, that is ooplasm. So this ooplasm, it consists of mitochondria, ribosomes, and then Golgi apparatus, and then a negligible amount of yolk. So in this ooplasm, all those things will be present, and then the very important egg nucleus, that is N in number, having maternal chromosome 22X type of chromosomes are present inside this egg nucleus. Okay, so this is the structure. From where it is coming? From the Graafian follicle. Let me tell you one more thing, the interesting concept. When the Graafian follicle ruptured, when it releases the secondary oocyte, so the left part will be there. No, you can see here the left part, it will be like that. Okay, so the part is known as, the left part is known as corpus luteum. Corpus luteum. What is the function of corpus luteum? It secretes the progesterone hormones when the egg get fertilized by the sperm. Then only it releases the hormones known as corpus luteum. In case of if the fertilization do not occur in the fallopian tube, then what will happen? This egg, or what it is having inside the fallopian tube, it travels down to the uterus, and then the corpus luteum, it will just degenerate. Like that, it will degenerate. So this is a cycle. Okay, 1 month, one primary follicle, development, Graafian follicle, corpus luteum, degenerate, and then moves on. In the next month, again one primary follicle. So this is the cycle taking place every month inside the female reproductive tract. So what was that cycle? I think you might have remember in the chapter number 1, that is reproduction in organism, we studied about the menstrual cycle and estrous cycle, right? So what is menstrual cycle, where the cycle is going to takes place, in which organisms we can see the menstrual cycle. So that is the cycle what we are going to study after this. After the egg, structure of egg, and then development of Graafian follicle, and so on and so on, we are going to study about the menstrual cycle. So before that, you have to remember all the hormones responsible for the development of follicle and for the development of or for the ovulation. Remember, when the Graafian follicle releases this secondary oocyte inside the fallopian tube, no, so the process is known as ovulation. Okay, in the next session I will be taking the word ovulation. It means so releasing of ovum inside the fallopian tube. All right, so that's all about today's session. The assignment, let me give some homework, then let me give some questions related to this concept. The first question will be, write a detailed account on spermatogenesis, write a detailed account on or describe the oogenesis. With that, in words you have to write. So these are all the 2 questions you have to write in the assignment. The third question will be, give any 5 differences between oogenesis and spermatogenesis. And then the fourth question is, draw a neat label structure of Graafian follicle and then draw a neat label diagram of egg. Okay. So these questions you have to write and then you have to submit in your homework. So let me, one more thing I forgot here, the egg, it measures 0.1 mm in diameter. Just recall or just imagine how small it will be, and then the sperm is coming inside the tract. It has to fuse with the small tiny egg. We'll see the procedure in the next session. Thank you.